We heard you about explaining about the soil health, but generally this is it's not a new term, but it's a term so many farmers in Africa don't know. So what is soil health and how does it affect the productivity?
Absolutely. So soil health is really critical. It's, whenever a farmer produces some food or some produce, they are de facto taking some nutrients in the ground, micro or macronutrients, and put it in transferring into the product that then we all eat. So soil health is about being able to manage all the nutrients that are in the soil to make sure that those nutrients actually happen to land on our table. Managing this is critical because by not depleting it, farmers are able to produce more and produce better.
So we heard about the solutions which you are proposing, but before we get there,
Yeah.
do you think what is the state of soil health soil health in Africa? Is it something that the governments in Africa take into consideration, or is it something that we maybe don't care about a lot?
Yeah. No. Actually, soil health is now very high in the agenda. There was an African Union summit entirely dedicated to soil health, where all countries across Africa recognize the need to support and strengthen soil health. I wouldn't point the finger to African governments because they've been trying to do something which is really hard, which is maintain and support and expand productivity, which is really hard, it's really critical. But to do so somehow, one of the effects of that in some parts of Africa was land degradation and soil degradation. Now what they recognize and what they are trying to do is to not only focus on productivity, or better said, focus on productivity, but doing so in a much more holistic way, taking into account soil health, because this way we can help the farmer produce more, but at the same time making sure that farmers and the next generations of farmers will be able to do the same.
So what are the solutions do you have to the issue of soil health in Africa?
I think there are many practices, many agronomical practices that you can use. Clearly you can use soil remediation to make sure that you can fertilize even in areas which are acidic, for example. There are literally hundreds of good agronomic practices. One of the problem is the ability to transfer those practices to those who needs to understand and adopt them. And then on the other hand, there are some new technologies that are making available the possibility to get soil data and soil information, to process soil data and information at a much lower cost, which is critical because just like when you go to the doctor and take a blood sample and the doctor provides you with vitamins or medicines that are good for your body, it's the same with soil. You need to know what's into your soil to be able to feed the soil with the best medicine and vitamins it needs.
We heard about something called the soil hive.
Yeah.
Can you explain about that?
Sure. Soil Live is a free platform that we developed, which is accessible to everyone, where we try to do something simple, which was getting all the soil data which is out there. We had a specific focus on East Africa. And the effect of that is that now if you are a farmer, if you are an agronomist, if you are a private or public company or public organization here in Sub-Saharan Africa, you can go to the platform soilhive.ag and you can look for soil data in a given region of interest. You can see how soil data is distributed. This can allow a public organization, a decision maker, to plan a soil campaign to equip those areas which are underserved with more data. And agronomists, farmers, private sector supporting and working with farmers, they can actually pick a point and see what's the pH, organic matter, soil organic carbon value in a given area. This way they can better recommend and support farmers in doing their job.
Do you think African farmers, especially smaller farmers, are much more aware of these solutions, or are they even interested in adopting these solutions?
Actually, I've been working for the past 20 years on digital technology in agriculture across different regions of the world. And trust me, whenever I go back to Italy, which is my home country, I always tell how African farmers are actually advanced because of their eagerness to know more and the ingenuity that they have. They've been adopting to some technologies, including mobile phones, for example, much quicker than in some other regions. So actually, I'm quite positive and optimistic that farmers in Sub-Saharan Africa are and will be more willing to adopt and use those technologies to their benefits.
Now, what are your grand ambitions, let's say in 5 years, in a medium range?
Yeah.
especially to reach out to young farmers and to give them the digital tools they need so that they can enhance their productivity.
Yeah, well, I'd say really the ambition in 5 years is making sure that each African government and African country will have a soil information system. Nowadays, only 18% of countries in Africa do have a soil information system, and we want all of them to have an information system so that we can keep the youth into agriculture, we can engage them with new digital solutions for them to be able to interpret soil data and information, to provide services, to launch new businesses, and farmers to be profitable farmers there.